What if we told you there's a pandemic, invisible yet devastating, happening right in our homes? It's an unseen epidemic, lurking in the shadows of our everyday lives, domestic violence. Affecting millions worldwide, this silent crisis is often overlooked. Yet its impacts are far-reaching, tearing families apart and leaving scars that last a lifetime. Recognizing and understanding the root causes of domestic violence is crucial to breaking its vicious cycle. Today, we delve into the top 10 causes of domestic violence. At number 10, we have inadequate support systems. This is a major contributor to domestic violence that often goes unnoticed. When people lack the necessary social, emotional, or financial support, they can feel cornered, desperate, and alone. This feeling of isolation can lead to frustration, and sadly, sometimes this frustration manifests as violence. Imagine someone struggling with personal issues, whether it be mental health, unemployment, or simply life's daily stresses. Now imagine that same person without a friend to confide in, without a family member to offer advice, or without the financial means to seek professional help. This lack of support can create a pressure cooker of emotions, which, if not vented appropriately, can explode in the form of domestic violence. It's a grim picture, but it underscores the importance of having a strong support network. Friends, family, therapists, community organizations all play critical roles in buffering life's challenges. Without a network to lean on, individuals can resort to violence. Continuing our countdown at number 9, we have societal norms. These unwritten rules and expectations that we learn from our families, schools, and communities can play a significant role in domestic violence. In societies where rigid gender roles and expectations are prevalent, a power imbalance can be created. This imbalance can lead to one person in a relationship exercising control over the other, often leading to abusive behavior. The belief that men should be dominant and women submissive, for instance, can feed into this power dynamic. This is not to say that all societies with strong gender norms experience high rates of domestic violence, but there is a correlation. Challenging these norms, promoting gender equality, and advocating for healthy relationships can help prevent domestic violence. Societal norms should never justify violence. As we move forward, let's remember that changing societal attitudes is a powerful tool in the fight against domestic violence. As we continue our countdown at number 8, we find ourselves grappling with economic stress. The silent struggle that often goes unnoticed, economic stress, can be a significant contributor to domestic violence. Financial instability brings with it a host of issues. It can create an environment riddled with tension, frustration, and desperation. The inability to provide for one's family, the mounting bills, the uncertainty of employment, these factors can breed feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness. In some cases, these feelings can be misdirected, resulting in violent outbursts towards loved ones. It's an ugly reality, but it's one we cannot afford to ignore. Providing economic support and resources to those in need can play a vital role in preventing domestic violence. It's about giving people the tools they need to manage their financial stress effectively. This includes financial literacy programs, access to job training and employment opportunities, and social safety nets for those who are struggling. Remember, financial stress should never be a justification for violence. It's a challenge to overcome, not an excuse to harm. As we delve deeper into our countdown, let's keep this in mind. Continuing our countdown at number 7, we delve into mental health issues. We often overlook the impact that mental health can have on domestic violence. Conditions such as depression, anxiety, and personality disorders can increase the likelihood of violent behavior. These disorders can result in individuals struggling to regulate their emotions, leading to violent outbursts. When left untreated, these issues can exacerbate the cycle of violence, making it even more challenging for victims to escape their situation. But it's crucial to understand that mental health issues aren't a cause of domestic violence. They're a contributing factor, a hidden battle that many victims and perpetrators face. The importance of mental health resources cannot be overstated. Access to therapy, counseling, and medication can play a significant role in managing these conditions and ultimately in preventing domestic violence. It's about giving people the tools they need to manage their mental health effectively. As we continue our journey deeper into the countdown, let's remember not to overlook mental health in the fight against domestic violence. Mental health issues are not an excuse for violence, but understanding their role can help us tackle this issue more effectively. Stay tuned as we delve into the next factor in our countdown. In at number 6, we have childhood trauma. Often a silent and invisible factor, childhood trauma plays a significant role in the cycle of domestic violence. Exposure to violence at an early age, whether it's being a victim or a witness, can shape an individual's perception of what is normal and acceptable. This distorted perspective can lead to the normalization of violence in their adult relationships. It's a pattern we see time and again. The child who witnessed domestic violence grows up to become a perpetrator or a victim themselves. This is not to say that everyone who experiences childhood trauma will resort to violence, but it increases the likelihood, creating a tragic echo of the past. It's crucial to acknowledge the role of childhood trauma in the perpetuation of domestic violence and to provide resources for healing. Access to therapy and counseling can help individuals come to terms with their past and break the cycle of violence. Remember, healing from the past is a key step in breaking the cycle of violence. As we continue our countdown, let's not forget the importance of addressing and healing from childhood trauma in our fight against domestic violence. Moving on to number 5, we encounter substance abuse. Often disguised under the shadow of intoxication, substance abuse is a significant contributor to domestic violence. The maltreatment can be physical, emotional, or psychological, and it often escalates when substances are involved. Alcohol, narcotics, prescription drugs, they all have the potential to impair judgment, reduce inhibition, and increase aggression, creating a volatile cocktail for potential violence. Let's shift gears to number 4, economic stress. Financial instability creates a pressure cooker environment in many households. The strain of joblessness, debt, and the inability to provide for one's family can lead to feelings of inadequacy and frustration. Unfortunately, these feelings can sometimes be misdirected as anger towards loved ones, leading to domestic violence. Now we come to number 3, mental health issues. Disorders such as depression, anxiety, and especially personality disorders can increase the likelihood of domestic violence. These conditions, when left untreated, can result in individuals struggling to regulate their emotions, leading to violent outbursts. It's crucial to understand that mental health issues aren't a cause of domestic violence, but they can contribute to its occurrence. Sliding into number 2, cultural norms. In certain societies, there exists a deeply embedded belief that men are superior to women, or that violence is an acceptable means of resolving conflicts. These harmful societal norms can perpetuate cycles of domestic violence, as they often discourage victims from speaking out and seeking help. Lastly, we must mention that these factors do not work in isolation. They can often interact and overlap, creating a complex web that traps victims of domestic violence. It's a nuanced, multifaceted issue that requires our collective attention and action. These factors, while not excuses for violence, contribute to the escalation of domestic abuse. Remember, there is never an excuse for violence, and we all have a part to play in breaking the cycle. And now, the top cause of domestic violence: power and control. A chilling reality that lies at the heart of this issue. The desire for power and control over a partner is the #1 cause of domestic violence. It's an insidious force that manifests in various ways, often subtle, yet profoundly damaging. The perpetrator, driven by an urge to dominate, uses various tactics to maintain their stronghold. These tactics might include emotional manipulation, financial control, or even physical intimidation. These aren't random acts of rage, they're calculated moves designed to exert control and maintain dominance. It's a grim picture, but understanding this root cause is crucial to tackling the issue. Because domestic violence isn't just about the act of violence itself, it's about a power dynamic, a twisted sense of entitlement, a deeply ingrained pattern of control. Remember, at the end of the day, it's not about anger or arguments. Domestic violence, at its core, is about maintaining power and control. So, there you have it, the top 10 causes of domestic violence. From substance abuse to financial stress, from power and control to lack of education, each of these factors plays a significant role. But remember, knowledge is power. By understanding these triggers, we arm ourselves with the tools to prevent domestic abuse. It is through awareness and education that we can begin to combat this silent epidemic. Remember, awareness is the first step towards change. Together, we can break the cycle of violence,